Hello, everyone, and we're back. It's part 2 of the goals. Are you struggling with 2022? Can you believe at the moment it's the last day of January 2022? Oh, my goodness me. What's happened to the month? What's happened to your goals? Let's find out, shall we? All right, let's crack on and get going. Hang on. That's not right, is it? I want to move this on. Oh, come on. Here we go. Right. The question is whether you are in here. Let me get myself up there, drag myself out of the way. Is that you? Is that you in there today? Are you going to be the star of the year 2022? Have a look at the last one. You'll see, we'll put the card up there to play part 1 if you want. But I'm going to do a quick recap. 5 methods here. Reflect, recognize the routine, the reset, and the reward in making it the best year that you could possibly have. So let's have a look. 3 levels, if you remember, about getting your goal working, getting your goal really working for you. So here we go. Dreaming. Who's good at dreaming? Dreaming, visioning. You've got your vision board. I'm looking at one in front of me here. Big house, flash car, the usual sort of thing. Places to go, family, money, wealth, whatever it might be. Fitness, maybe you got that beach bod going on. But you've got 3 things, haven't you? 3 things. You can dream it, you've got a vision for it, and then it's focusing on it. And the one thing that I think is the biggest problem for all of us, and this is when you, let's just see if that's going to move on. Yes. All right. Here we go. Those that seem to achieve less get stuck in the dreaming and visioning. Those that seem to achieve more get going on the focusing. So the focusing is what we need to do. All right. If you can't focus, remember there's 2 things to help you focus. And I did this as a talk the other night, live audience, face to face. It was great. Packed room. And I said, right, who can, if you're struggling focusing, what about 2 things to focus on? Death and taxes. And I said, okay, out of those 2, which one are you more scared of? And it was a unanimous, overwhelming scared of taxes. And I don't mean taxes that take you home after a night out. I mean government taxes. Goodness me. I mean, that's crazy. More scared of tax than you are of death. There we go. All right. So what I wanted to do here is just talk to you about, don't forget your legacy. What are you going to leave behind? A lot of people talk about it. So they're going to leave all those amazing books, all those ideas. People can pick them up, run with them. In fact, what happens is people order the skip and dump your stuff. So it's that thing of, okay, where do I want to be? What do I want to leave? Is it memories, places you visited, legacy, wealth, whatever it is? So the first one, reflect, quick reflection on reflect. And that is take a bit of time, be objective about yourself, have a look, talk to yourself about yourself, but we're not judging. We're not saying, good or bad. Just take a bit of time to reflect, talk about yourself. Is it working at the moment? Do things feel good? Or is it time to change your approach? And as I say there, the only person you can't fool is you. And that's because I truly believe that, I know in some ways, people can do this thing and get their mind overcome and make themselves believe anything. But when it comes to this, you kind of know yourself, don't you? You know if you've been good or you've not been good. You know if it's time for a change. So if you think it's time for a change, you're in the right place. Perfect. Okay. Today, recognize. This is number 2. So we had reflect, where you're just pausing to have a reflection and just sort of think, is it working? How's it going? Is it good? Is it time to, maybe have a rethink? But this is number 2 is recognize. And what I want to do here is you need to recognize in there will be patterns, there will be feelings, there'll be emotions, and there will be where things go right. You'll feel your body, your physiology, the the way you do things will be different for where things don't go quite so right. So this is where you need to just take a bit of time, having reflected on things, to now recognize, is there a pattern here? Is something going on? Is there something that it's telling me? Are there some habits in here? What is it? What is it that is leading to those great feelings of success and those feelings that, you know, are not so good? Okay. So in here, I've just put a few things up, and let me just, on here, I'll just stick myself up there so you can read it all. So I find myself in a position where I tell myself, you know, when something goes wrong and you sort of go, oh my goodness, I am rubbish at everything. Everything. And it's always so dramatic, isn't it? It's always that over the top. I've told you a million times to stop being so boring or so stupid or so ridiculous. You know, we go over the top and it clouds all our judgment. But then I found it, you know, then it dawned on me, hang on, I've still got time to prove myself wrong. Who are you trying to prove everything to? I know social media is trying to get us to prove it to everyone else, but really fundamentally, you're trying to prove it to yourself, because that's where the feelings come from inside you. And you can choose at this very moment in time to say, hey, every master was once a disaster. And I'm choosing to come from a different angle, to do this a different way. And I'm now going to go out there and I'm going to say, right, first person I'm going to prove, you know, wrong is me. And there you go. But okay, what have we got up here? We've got some things up here for the how to recognize. Just make a note of what worked, what didn't. So if you had goals last year, or you've had goals for January or February, whenever you're watching this, write them down. What's worked, what hasn't worked. Okay, and then just sort of say, okay, which bits did you love doing? Which bits did you avoid doing? And then try and think to yourself, because, you know, I've spoken to a number of people about this, and one of the most amazing things was someone who was involved in something that was going to earn him thousands of pounds a month, or something that was going to make outdoor pizzas, you know, that he could enjoy with his family and friends. And what he valued more was the look of amazement on his family and friends' faces when he pulled out a pizza from a homemade outdoor pizza oven, you know, and shared it with someone, as opposed to making money. So it's not always the obvious things that we value. And the reason I'm talking about this is will become apparent as we go through the other 3 sections of the 5R method. And it's really these things here, what you love doing, what you avoid doing, and, you know, what you value, really determine which goals you're going to hit, which goals you are going to achieve, and which goals are going to come easier, you know, you'll do more easily, you know, all those things. And the ones that you avoid, the ones that, you know, really pull you down, they're going to be hard work. And this is the time to recognize that. It doesn't mean that you can't achieve hard goals. It doesn't mean that you've only got to go for easy ones, for things you love. No, I think there's a way of combining the difficult goals into the ones that you love. And we're going to do that on a later day. But I just wanted to go through this, give you these things here. And I wanted to just ask you as well, if anyone's done personality tests, whether you've done that, beware of what, you know, a quote of, I think it was Churchill, who said, give a person a label and they will either live up to it or they will live down to it. Be careful that any personality test isn't a self-fulfilling prophecy. What it might do is it might just help you with what you love doing and what you avoid doing. It might just explain a few reasons as to why those make you feel good or make you feel, you know, like you're running in treacle sort of thing. So just be wary of personality tests. They can be quite useful and they can sort of go, oh, right, okay. And they are useful when you are working with a group of people and you want to make sure that in that group, you've got a mixture of personalities. If everyone's the same, it becomes very awkward to get that group to achieve anything. And if that group has got, you know, people with certain skills, certain personalities, and that's missing, again, it can make it harder. And there's lots that you can go out and do. I did 30 years ago, I did a Belbin test. There's wealth dynamics. There's the DISC formula. There's hundreds. There's hundreds. The Enneagram and all those sort of things. And people wear it like a badge of honor. Oh, I'm a so-and-so. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. Just know and appreciate what you are, what you have at the moment a tendency to be. And it might just help you with this bit where you recognize, do you know what? Maybe that's why that goal I find harder to achieve, and those goals I find easier to achieve, because maybe it plays to my strengths or weaknesses and those sort of things. But life isn't all about setting easy goals and then achieving them and thinking that's amazing. Sometimes we've got to do the things that we've been avoiding. Sometimes we've got to do the things that are harder for us. Sometimes we need to recognize that we've got to do a combination of things. And as we go through this, I'm going to help you attach really powerful anchors to those particular goals so that you can achieve them. Okay, right. Well, here we go. It's all about, you know, do you believe you do all three? Many find 1 and 2 easy, but number 3 is hard. So the focusing bit, hopefully you're now beginning to start that with the number 1, reflect, and number 2, recognize. Okay. What else have we got on here? That's me. And that must mean it's the end of today's live. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Go back, watch it again, make a note of it, go through that, reflect and recognize you're building some powerful foundations here that'll help you keep your goals going, help you set goals, and help you achieve your goals in 2022. Until then, we'll see you later. All right, bye for now.